Well, greetings everybody, and welcome to this week's Inworld review. This is a show where we look at arts, destinations, and various other things in Open Simulator, or in particular on the Hypergrid, which is a system that connects all Open Simulator worlds together. Today we're going to be looking at Craft Grid and various things in it with our guests. But before we move on to that, we're just going to cover the latest news. Joining me on the right is James Atlloud, always fiddling with buttons. I'm not.
I fiddle,
And
I fiddle.
generally mixing all our audio, video, and everything else together, so we're not just talking heads, as it were. Joining me on my other side is my regular co-host now, Thirza Ember, convener of Hypergrid Safari and many other things, including her wonderful blog, which we look at later. So welcome, Thirza.
Hey there, Mal. Nice to be here.
And I'll introduce them now, and we'll come back to them again later. But we have Licu Raw, I think that's the right pronunciation, who is the curator of Craft World, Craft Grid. Welcome, Liku.
Hi everyone.
We also have Sergej Zarf, who, well, they're all from Craft World, one way or another. So welcome, Sergej.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to be here.
And we have Rosanna Galvani, also from Craft World. So welcome, Rosanna. I gather you may not be able to hear me directly, but welcome anyway. Okay. I'm also doing my best to look at text chat, which our viewers at home can't see, but just generally get the idea of what's going on. Needless to say, Craft World is sometimes known as the Italian grid. It, strictly speaking, isn't true. It was meant to be a grid about arts and crafts. Hence the craft, many a time ago. But in fact, all three of our guests this week actually speak Italian predominantly, not English. So fortunately, Thirza is here, and she lives in Italy and speaks Italian fluently. So we might be going through a bit of what you might call translation tech whilst we get this going. But it's going to be fun, however we look at it, actually. We have plenty of footage to talk over. We have plenty of slides they brought along to talk about and everything like that. So before we move on to our guests, actually, it's just time to catch up on what's happening on the Hypergrid and OpenSim. And I have a poster up on the middle screen here, which is just announcing that a new release of Open Simulator from a couple of days ago. It's version 0.9.2.2. For those of you who wonder, you can download it from opensimulator.org. So that's opensimulator.org, and then /wiki/0.9.2.2. But no dot on here. Right. So hopefully you can read that on the screen here. It's pretty basic. But if you're just about to launch a grid or want to update your grid or whatever, this is the place to actually get the software, the service software, basically, to actually do this with.
Yeah, it's a big project. As I understand, I think that it involves a database change in the background. So it's opening a big opportunity for new things in Open Simulator.
Great.
I'd just like to say that I blame it for the reason why my pose is frozen today.
Maybe.
So to just thank Ubit for once again humiliating me on live TV. Thank you.
Actually, yes, of course. It hadn't occurred to me yet, but presumably if anybody's upgraded already, it's OS Grid here. So we are
Well,
presumably running the show
we're
in
the testers.
a studio that's on the new release. So
Right.
right, okay. So we won't. If things go wrong, we won't just be able to blame the Italians.
I'm just going to blame Ubit for everything, as
Just
usual.
blame Ubit. Oh, poor old Ubit. Okay, right. Anyway, moving on, we're going to just have a quick look at what's coming up during the next week with our little special segment called Hybrid Grid Happenings. So over to you, Thirza.
So yes, greetings hypergrid dwellers. And this week on Hypergrid Happenings, we got one or two things. This one is from yesterday, but I'm going to show it to you anyway because congratulations to Walter and everybody over on Littlefield Grid. It was their 10th anniversary yesterday. There was a big party. Much too late for me. I'm in bed long before that hour of the night and home shortly afterwards. So they had a great party, and they deserve a great deal of credit for the fact that they've been going for 10 whole years. So congratulations to Littlefield Grid. Second thing, this is in the future, so go for it. It's an Easter egg hunt for dinkies. If you're a dinky, if you're into the smaller sized personality, this is for you. It's your classic Easter egg hunt, and it's over on alternatmetaverse.com. Of course, this is our lovely Sophie Jano, who we love, who's doing this one. Another really nice thing, and this is coming up also shortly. It's by Shalhira, who's a really nice lady who's got a wee person grid, so all kinds of different tinies. She's gone with a different take on it because these are dragon's eggs you have to look for, but it's a scavenger hunt. It's going to be up from Tuesday onwards, and that's on Discovery Grid, another great place which we're hoping to visit next season. If you just like to go dancing and you enjoy wearing formal attire and enjoying some very elegant tunes, then Essential has her weekly event over on the Trianon Ballroom. That happens right here on OS Grid every Thursday. Dress nice because that's how they roll. And here's the fun thing, if you're into the cowboy look, Little Beaver over there on Kitely Grid, he has a really nice sim called Paha Sapa, and he has just set up a new cowboy style saloon, and that's going to be opening this week. So go over there and take a look at that. You're going to enjoy it. And just another reminder that here on OS Grid, there's on Sim Absalom, which will be opening on the 8th. There's a Easter egg hunt, and in fact there's going to be a special safari for that on Saturday this week. So if you want to come over and do that with us, it'll be fun. There's 10 eggs and some interesting prizes in those 10 eggs. Also, OS Grid's main Easter party, which is held on Event Plaza, of course, that's coming up next weekend. So do that. If you have already set up your Easter egg, which you can grab an Easter egg and design it any way you like, and then there's a prize for the best one. That's going to be voted on, and the prize and the winner will be announced this coming weekend. So that's pretty much it for Hypergrid Happenings. If you do have a special event, a party happening, a project, maybe you've got an opening coming along, or you run a class, anything that's coming up on your grid, please let me know. You can send me an IM or find me on social media, and we'll be happy to include it here on Hypergrid Happenings.
Well, thank you, Thirza, for that wonderful roundup of what is happening. And of course, I keep forgetting next weekend is the Easter weekend, which is celebrated in some countries, more than others, of course, but a holiday time in many places. So always an excuse for parties and other events, as we saw, including Easter egg hunts. Yeah, chocolate city. Yeah. Right. Well, let's get back down to the nitty-gritty of this week. As I mentioned, all our guests come from Craft World, which is, or sometimes known as the Craft Grid. It's basically it's based in Italy, which is one of the reasons, of course, it's become known as a bit of a sort of Italian grid. But it's mostly sort of arts and crafts and things. I'm going to let Thirza lead the conversation as best I can, because if what will inevitably happen is if we have to fall into Italian to get around something. Hopefully, those of you watching fortunately, hopefully, those of you watching the replay of this show, at least in a couple of days' time, we may be able to rig it so that there's actually a translation subtitle thing. I think YouTube provide that. We've never done it before, so
So it's all new.
course, yeah. One additional thing I've just occurred to me. Somebody who's a major part of what the guys are going to be talking about is a gentleman called Velasquez Bonetto, who's actually sitting here in the audience. He won't be on voice, but I thought we'd just point him out because he's a major part of some of the things we're going to be talking about. Is that not right?
Absolutely. Yes, that's absolutely right. Yes. So we have Rosanna Galvani, who we know in World. Many of us know her many years as Roxello. So if I call her Rox, sometimes that's why. She's actually muted right at the moment because she has some problems hearing. But if she can turn on her microphone, that'd be great if she can hear us again. And then we have, of course, Sergej, who's sitting right next to her on her left. But between me and Roxella, we have Licu Rao, and I'd like to just begin with Licu because he is the founder of Craft Grid, and I wanted to ask him what made him decide to make this grid. And of course, it's an international grid. But what was his motivation, and how long has the grid been online?
What is in the future of the grid? Basically, we are working in some enhancing of the code, because one problem about growing for a grid is making a good environment for creators. What does this mean? Creators are afraid about copybotting mainly. There are many creators that do not are not going to spend time for making things, for creating things, because they are scared by copybotter that can go there, copy everything, and then spread everything on other grids without preserving the creator name.
Right. So we need more security. But Licu, how old is Craft Grid? When did you start it?
When in 2010.
Wow.
We began inside Cyberland. Yeah, it was an Italian grid, one of the first open-sim grids. That was based in the same in Sardinia too, like Craft. I personally knew the Carlos or Gino Flori in real life. That was the founder of Cyberland. Yeah. So when I discovered there was this OpenSim reality, we can say, after a few months in Second Life, when I discovered there was this free software that could allow to make things that was not possible to do in Second Life, I immediately made a region in first in Osgrid and then in Cyberlandia when I discovered that grid.
So it's 13 years you've had the grid, nearly 13 years. That's a long time.
Yes, it was 2009.
Oh, wow.
2009, yes. And after a while, Carlos Rundel or Gino Flore, the founder of Cyberlandia, decided to transform the grid, making an experiment to transform the grid in a sort of federation of standalone regions. Um, it was exactly 27th of January of 2010. I organized my themes, my regions in a grid with a robust server and called it Craft. So Craft was born inside Cyberlandia first. Then when Cyberlandia closed a few months later, practically all Cyberlandia users came to Craft.
And am I right in saying that, is it correct that you were 4 different nationalities, the founders of Craft? So there's you and
Yeah.
Tao?
Oh, yes. Yes. How that is? How can we define? She is British, but lived a lot of time in Germany, and now is in New Mexico. So
And of course, then there's Lumiere Noir.
she's
She's
international
American.
by herself.
Yeah. And Tosha, of course, who's going to be our
Tosha,
guest
that is
next.
also half German and half Catalan. So yeah, and I that I'm Sardinian. So it is
Yeah. So really international. So
Martin,
can
yes.
I ask?
This is Craft. Cyberlandia on the other side was basically an Italian grid. It was called Metaverso Italiano, the Italian Metaverse. With Craft, we thought it was better thinking of an international grid because having this tool, this software that runs on the internet, and potentially it can gather all people
Sure.
from all the world. Why have to limit ourselves making an Italian grid or on a grid for art or a grid for culture in general or just for entertainment. What we thought at the beginning was we have to try everything we can do with this tool.
That's right. It's a real world. So, as you mentioned, part of what Craft is famous for is art, and of course we have here Rosanna Galvani, and we have Sergej also. Sergej Zarf is sitting right here. So,
Yes.
Sergej, can you tell us a bit about the Museo del Metaverso, how it got started, what the purpose of the museum is?
yeah, sure. Well, I can try it. Okay, also if we have her founder here, but
Yes.
okay, I can try to explain in my better. Yeah, we've spoken about the Cyberlandia before, and the Metaverse Museum, the Museo del Metaverso, was born first in Second Life on December 2007. And the purpose was enhancing the artistic heritage created in the virtual world. And first, the museum was established when the Second Life was at the full height of its success. Then the project, from the very beginning, wanted to qualify for the originality and beauty of the structures, and for the multiplicity of content offered in its programming. And yeah, I have to say one thing about the term museum. because this term can be misleading, as one should not think of a conventional museum, but of an evolving subject, both in terms of the museum structure and in terms of the activities that take place there. So it's
That's
really,
true.
really, yeah.
That's true. The word museum sometimes people say, oh, that's boring. Oh, that's old stuff. But that's not true in your case, is it? I don't know,
Yeah.
Mal. Do you
Yeah,
want us to start looking at the slides?
yeah. Well, actually, I was just about to say, I don't know if it's on screen yet, but we're actually showing film
Yeah.
of
So it's looking at it's lovely.
Red's film. Basically, the film that we're showing, we've got lots of it silent, but this actually starts at the museum itself. So what we're looking at now is what we've been talking about, the actual region, so to speak. Um,
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
very very quickly, but it's a good thing, if you're seeing it, it's a good you can sort of talk us through what we're watching, if you see what I mean.
yeah. This is voxel 4 as one of the old structure. At the moment is the active one. Then in the next future, in the near future, Velasquez is building a new one, a new structure. So is then, yeah, is a tradition that every 7 to 8 years the museum renew itself, equipping with a new structure, new site, new website as well, and trying to identify new artists to be housed in the museum historical group of artists. This happens because the museum need to provide itself with new and functional spaces and to update its concept, which always finds new stimuli from the contemporary. So you can see the update, the actual structure is from Nicola Rainerman. No, sorry, from Half Hour from 2015 up to now, 2023. Then there is a time, now it's a time to Velasquez Bonito new one. And we can see later some pictures about, we can see right now a new buildings from Velasquez Bonito's one, but then in the slide, so we can see more later. And
This
yeah,
this was a very moving thing. I remember we visited on safari, where it's sort of a
yeah,
big tribute to these women who suffered, basically. Um, yeah, we haven't really got any close up of a load of T-shirts, dedicated to victims as well.
That's again what Sergej was saying about it's a museum, but it's very contemporary. The word museum, you should never be thinking about the past, because it's everything that they do in this place is so up to date. It's fantastic.
really it is.
Yeah, the things about women, but you've also got a lot of stuff about AI art, haven't you? And of course, Velasquez made all those fantastic e-books that are available in your library. There's so much going on. We want to move to the slideshow, Mal. What do you think?
Yes,
So that
yes.
we
So
can...
I'll pause here,
So,
and then
sure.
I don't know who's going to run the slideshow. You give that to Sergey again, or is Rosanna?
Yeah, Sergej, do you want to move the slides ahead maybe so that you can talk about them?
Yes, okay. Yeah, okay, just a moment.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. We have a series of new pictures, structure, new structure from Velasquez, from the builder. You can see the concept. Let me go just a moment here. Okay, this is voxel. Then, oh, sorry. Yeah, Okay, here we are. You see the concept of the new museum as a multifunctional, and modular design. I'm sorry for my pronunciation, but I'm not an active English speaker, as you know, so I
I like
try
to
my
apologize for
better.
mine as well.
I try my better.
You're doing perfectly well. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Okay, so the multifunctional and modular design allowing the building to adapt the flexibility and the content and space needs of the exhibition. The building structure consists of modules that can be modified and moved according to the needs of the exhibition and the exhibitors as well. The museum building consists of several modules, as you can see, which can be adapted to the needs of the exhibition. Each module has a different size, so that buildings blocks can be easily assembled to change according to the needs of different exhibitions, as I said. And so this is the way that make it possible to provide the right space and the environment for different types of artworks. Because as you know, virtual sculptures has some needs, require a larger exhibition space and high ceiling and digital installation, IA pictures and virtual reality experience require a smaller one and also more intimate space.
Also, because you've got to get your camera in, haven't you? As an avatar, you need to be able to cam in properly, and that's not always possible if the buildings are small. To be able to use your camera, so that's a great idea.
Yeah, really indeed. Sorry, I'm taking other one. You can see, another interesting thing that where Velasquez is working about is about the environment and the mixing from the environment and the space.
That's right. He wanted to have a garden space, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, we have really a lot of exotic plants, such as tropical plants, colorful flowers, foliage, with their bright colors and interesting shapes, help make the interior and the exterior of the museum more pleasant and attractive to visitors. The gardens planted in such way are an excellent way to make the outdoor of the museum more attractive, but also it's important to create a balance between the techno-architecture and the nature. Also, if virtual, we like so much to have a really nice natural environment outside, and also because of this kind of environment offer visitors an excellent opportunity to relax in a small green area while viewing the museum's magnificent artworks. Let me see. I think it's a really, really nice to know. That the museum it's a coastal location that allows the visitors to access it by boat, and we stay in a sim. Is all around our navigable sims, many of them. So it's a really, really nice coming there by boat.
I just have a comment from Rosanna, she just said that was for her very, very important, that there should be a nice garden. And a lot of this has been made by Fiona Simon. Is that right?
Yes.
She did the integration of the gardens. So congratulations to her for a wonderful job. It's very natural looking.
Really it is. Well, let me see another one. yeah, you can see some kind of ambient environment inside, but it's really open because every artist can ask for a space, for not a temporary space, but a long time one. So every artist will be free to operate and create in all the needs he can have. So really, really, really a good situation for any artist of any kind of art, of digital
It's really
one.
credit to it's really credit to Velasquez. This big. What do you think of it, Mal? This concept of the big space. You know,
Oh
the
yes, yeah, it's
free
absolutely
flow.
wonderful. I mean, it's as you probably saw in the film, some of it didn't really res in good time for me. But I mean, wandering around with the camera, for example, it was very conscious of how everything was sort of spaced out. Um, the structure of different levels on the build, the building sort of thing, was kind of interesting because you got up there and then I thought, well, I'm used to seeing a huge gallery here or something, but then I realized that all the individual things are in their own little micro environment. So it was all,
Brilliant, isn't it?
yeah,
I
And
love the
Rosanna,
lights. I love the lights
yes,
in the image on screen, the ceiling lights. It makes it such a
yes, that
great
too, yeah.
atmosphere. Yeah.
yes, that's all Velasquez. And Rosanna's just reminded me to say that they're going to have a big opening for the museum, the sort of rededication of it. And she says it's going to be un opening grandiosa. So it's going to be a great opening. So something to look forward to. I'm sure Licu must be very happy to have Museo del Metaverso on his grid, because it's a very prestigious group of sims. So much happening.
Of
But
course,
anyway,
of course, we are proud to have her museum and the grid, and also many other groups and realities that the museum is not the only organization in craft. There are educational groups, there are teachers, there are protected regions that allow to log in to underage students and
can we
their
ask you,
teachers.
Liku? Can we ask you maybe to come back another time and tell us more about, because I don't know about Mal and James, but I'm fascinated by that whole ability to have the closed part but also a hypergrid part on these grids. So it'd be wonderful to learn more about what you do if you could come back
Yeah,
another time.
that was very noticeable when I tried to go to Ukbar and the Annette or something was it, and I couldn't get in, but I was able to get to Ukbar 2, which is where I was doing this filming, and there's a picture I've posted up on screen at the moment. I love it. Another example of a statue just hanging out in the water there. You were saying, that how the water was important. But I actually did manage to cam around quite a bit. And there's a lovely bit a bit later on in the film here. I'll get to it when we get the time, where there's what I consider to be a really classic Italian village on the mountain. And that's way beyond the museum. I mean, it's probably another region adjacent to that, but it all blends together because the islands all fit together. And when you're looking from the other islands, you see the main museum island, and it stands out a mile. That's that scaffolding like structure. It's just takes over the whole island.
But they have such a great group in the Museo del Metaverso. You guys, you do so many different things. There's the sailing and there's the museum. So there's the art, but there's also a lot of entertainment. So it's great. It's exactly what Liku said. That's what Craft Grid is about. It's about culture, but also about entertainment. But sorry, I interrupted. I know Sergej has more slides to show us.
Yes, let's go there. I'm just going to.
We come back to you, Sergej.
Yes. I'm here. Just looking about the slides. I think the mainly you can see what about the right now structure. You see the conference hall where we have courses and conferences. It's really nice because the pictures is not. If you can go with the camera, you can see because it's all in motion. Is really the pictures are animated and you can interact with them. Is also beautiful works by Velázquez Bonetto that use a different layer for different colors. So it's a really techno ambient and really okay. This is the coastal side of the islands. You can see see there are many of them, many sims connected by sea. Okay, then you see the modules here we've spoken about before, and Velázquez is really creative, is theoretical of the organized chaos, So there's really full of lights, colors, structures, but sincerely a lot practical ones. So all is functional, really functional spaces, really nice indeed. Okay, I am just a user there because I take some courses and some exhibitions there. So I'm a user. I'm a client. And I'm really excited to be a part of the museum because it's a really a nice space to work with and to work in. Really interesting.
And it's such a big international group too. Rosanna was telling me that it just in Facebook there's 1,250 people in the Museo del Metaverso group. Just to give you an idea of how many different people are associated with it, and obviously the team that work on the Sims. I've seen you guys. There's about 20 of you, aren't there, that are regularly involved in building and promoting and supporting events. So it's really a very vibrant group. It's fantastic.
Yeah. My main tasks there are about the video making. But I repeat, it's a really exciting place to work. A really nice group nice group of people to work with. Really nice indeed. But of course, I am of a part.
Yeah, he's biased. Have we finished the slides?
We should give a shout out to Star Ravenhurst and Reet and Snow, who are both praising your community on the chat here.
And Sergej has been very modest because he actually teaches a course of video. Rosanna's just pointed that out to me. And what's it called, Sergej? What's the name of the course?
Yeah, the course is a joke in Italian language. It's riprendiamoci, because it's the same meaning of what you have to do after a good crisis. You have to get up. And so the meaning is quite similar, but it's also to stay in front of the camera. It's the same as a joke of the terms, so it's riprendiamoci is the name. And I take this, I take this kind of courses from 2012, first and second life, then in craft.
10 years.
from a long
Wow.
time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I'd like to go back to the not so good example of filming that I've done, but I was really, when I was planning out, I don't know how much of this is really connected to the museum or not, but one of the outlying islands I got to, which I mentioned a minute ago, is this lovely kind of village on a hill. I don't, it's who actually built this or organized it, if I can ask. It's probably in the whole region there, panning around. This seems to be one of my favourites. I know we're going off centre from the music. Here we are. You get the idea.
It's Alana's one.
Right. Okay. So I couldn't get into this region direct, but I was able to pan to it in the camera. So that's lovely. You know, the way it all fits together on multiple levels, going up the hill, and you know, I just like it. I'd like to live there.
Yeah, but like Mal is a big fan of the landscape, and that's a very pretty one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of a sim, if I'm not mistaken, where there are some events, but it's really also a relaxation type sim. There's a yachting club, isn't there, on Alana? And there's they do sailing races and things like that. So it
It's
just
also
shows.
for music exhibition. We have a pub there and a music bar there, a piano bar. So it's also for music exhibition and a relaxing time. But it's a really, really nice one. It's also from Fiona Simon that you see before, Thirza, the environmental designer.
And Rox is just reminding us that on the 8th of March there's going to be the inauguration of a disco, a rock and roll disco. Is that right? That should be fun. That's on next week.
The April, yeah. April the 8th.
April, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
April the 8th.
Yeah. Oh, I remember the
There's a few
circus.
more
We
of your
went to
slides.
a few weeks ago.
I thought I saw more slides in there than we've seen
There
yet.
might be. There should be of the new museum. Is there more slides, Sergej?
Yes, it's yeah. Sorry, it's really close. Okay.
Oh, there we are. There's.
Okay, this is the circus. I see Mal is really attracted by the Alana. you can visit us when you want, Mal.
Yeah, I'm
Excellent.
checking Rosanna in chat as well. She said that it was made by Fiona.
Yeah, Fiona Simon.
So that's
Yeah.
the sim I was. Yeah. Right.
Yes, she is a photographer, really appreciated the photographer from the first time of Second Life environment. And she worked with us for a long time, really a long time, also with me creating videos, but on her own to make a photograph and also with beautiful works as interior and environment designer. She's a really, really great. Yeah. Great creative woman, said Rosanna in the chat line.
That's the lovely thing I love about. I can talk about Rosanna because she can't answer me. I just want to say this, and I'm pretty sure that Licu and Sergej and our friends here in the audience, Vela and Eva, and will all agree with this. There's nobody like Roxello. She is just fantastic. She is generous. She is so hardworking. She always wants to give the credit to everybody else. She never takes the credit for herself. Am I right? She's just magnificent. And
Absolutely.
I just so appreciate. And
Absolutely.
she works so hard to do everything. And she works and she inspires people to bring out the best in them. and just to be so creative. She does so much for other people, and I love her.
That is
Me too.
the right way to manage thing like the
Yeah,
museum. She's
so true.
the right woman in the right
In the right
place.
place.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Mal just fell in love with all this interesting stuff happening. Wow.
Yes, it's funny. Standing behind the
Oh,
camera,
look at that one.
swirling around. These statues as well. The intimate. This one's great.
Looks like something by that looks like by Terra. Isn't that by Terra Miriam? Yeah.
It's quite a complex, that one, with lots of the human bodies. Some of them are more abstract, but yeah, don't know where to turn next, kind of thing, really.
Yeah. So the Museo del Metaverso has existed since early times in Second Life, hasn't it? It must be as old as Craft, older than Craft Grid, I think, if you think of the time when it was in Second Life. So it must be 15 years that on and off
From
that
2007, Second Life, and then yes, later on from 2008 in Cyberlandia, the first craft setting. So yeah,
So
precisely in
where's
Cyberlandia from 2008.
people want to be associated with the Museo del Metaverso as audience or as participants? What's the best way to do that? What would you suggest that they do to join in with Museo del Metaverso? They,
Yeah,
they could come and join the group, can they not? Inworld.
yes, there is a Facebook group, as you said, but I think the best way, just as Mal is doing right now, is to visit us, to visit the environment, the Sims, to call us, and we are always glad to guest to host any people for any visit there, and we can speak about what the museum can offer to anyone.
This site we're on now, to be precise, it's craftworld.org, but with a dash. So it's CRAFT-WORLD.org. I just clicked
And you guys also have your own website, is that right?
There is a
For the museum.
website of the museum, but like the structure itself, it is going to be redone.
Yes.
So maybe you have to wait a few months for the new website of
Sure.
the museum.
And that's a good excuse to have you come back on the show.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, look at that. Mal is really, he's hunting through everything.
Yes, no,
He's an explorer. What do you want me to say?
I'm not doing much talking today, am I? Yes, I've just come to the destinations bit, but of course, all this Licu is best equipped to talk about, because this is actually the craft grid itself that we've loaded here. So a lot of stuff seemingly happening. Let's. Yeah, I've obviously had my fill of it. James, any thoughts from you? I know you're busy on our cameras and stuff. Any comments or sorts of questions from you?
No, I have just always enjoyed Craft Grid. Some of the best hypergrid safaris have been visiting Craft Grid, and I saw in the YouTube chat the community is just one of the best things. The builds are great, but the community of people are the best.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm busy doing something I'm no good at.
Thank you.
It's called multitasking. I noticed we're getting a few links being put into the in-world chat. Unfortunately, I can't copy them across to the channel, but online flip HTML5.com. Basically, yeah. Well, basically, the in-world chat has got a couple of links and comments in it. This is a nice book about Rosanna and the Metaverse Museum. Oh, right, okay. Online dot fliphtmls5.com/evmls/dsoz/ if that makes any sense. That apparently is a link to a book. That apparently is a link to a book, but I can't get it because it's on another machine. Oh dear. Okay. Well, that's nice to know. Actually, there's an actual book about it all.
And in fact, Velasquez has got a whole library of e-books which you can access on Ukpa 2, I think it is. Is that right, Sergej?
Yes, it's right. Velasquez is a really great ebook creator, and he provides a very good and huge documentation of every exhibitions and creations we have there. Really provides Velasquez provides really interesting flip books like the one you've spoken about. More, and you can see online right now, and many ebooks. So we have a large library on the Voxel 2 sim right now. I don't know exactly what will be the new address of the library, but we discover it soon.
Yeah. It's an exciting time at the museum. Lots of changes. Lots of renewal.
Yeah, it is. Really, it is.
So do we have Rosanna was talking about the big, great opening, whatever. Do we have any dates on that we can put up at the moment? Yeah, James is just...
Yeah, just checking it.
Good to know. We will definitely have to take some notes down there, won't we?
I think that's a TBA, that one there.
Yeah, fair enough. So I know James has been putting up some links in the lower third a minute ago. I don't know whether he got there.
So I just got a message from Rosanna. She says she doesn't yet have a date because they're still trying to finish everything, because she says everything has to be perfect, and that sounds
for sure.
Well, this has been very exciting for me to see all of what you guys are doing, and I know that there's so many. Pretty much every month there's a big event that you have. Sometimes several events in the month, and they're always so well attended. It's just delightful to visit Craft and to see the wonderful things you guys are doing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, every time I click on home here, I get a new picture. That's nice. Right. Okay, shall we move on and do a little bit of reflection like we normally do? I know we're a bit earlier, but have a look at you actually had 3 things up on the Safari blog this week, and also we must be getting close to the next season, believe it or not, already.
I guess we are. The next season begins on Wednesday, and it's a yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yes, on Wednesday we start, and Wednesday is the 5th of April, and the 6th of April is First Contact Day. So if you know Star Trek, you know that there's an actual day in the year when supposedly humans first came into contact with aliens. What kind of aliens were they? Anybody know?
Vulcans.
They were Vulcans.
Sure.
Vulcans.
They were Vulcans. Yes,
I
well done.
always,
You
I
get a
always
prize
thought,
for that.
always thought Vulcans came from Venus, and for a long while, and
No.
I learned the error of my ways.
Anyway, so that's April the 6th. But so because we have the safari on April the 5th, we're going to celebrate anyway, and we're going to Third Rock Grid, which has a very important Star Trek role play sim, which is just amazing. You feel like you're in a movie because the sets are so perfect. And so we're going there, and then after that we're going to see Virtual Recall, which is a build based on the movie Total Recall. You remember that one?
Yes,
With
yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, and there was a
Yes, the
remake.
older one.
There was a remake.
Yeah,
too.
and then of course there's a remake, yes.
Yeah.
And so it's going to show Planet Mars. We'll see that. So that's what we're doing on Wednesday. So live long and prosper.
I'll get my spacesuit.
Okay. Oh, there's sorry, rushing around here for the right graphic. There we are.
Yeah, okay.
Safari Roundup. Anyway, beginning again on Wednesday. So meet at the Safari HG Safari region, space HG Space Safari on OS Grid at well, basically just a few minutes before noon Pacific time, and then we all meet up and travel in a group from there. Right, okay. But even though Safari hasn't been on, HG Safari at blogspot.com has been getting on with it. I've got 3 things this week for Thirza to talk about. Her mouth must have gone dry by now. She's been doing all the talking this week. But the first one, the first one here is entitled Egg Systems. This is the on the AMV grid. Let me toggle this so we can get the pictures up. Feature talk over. There we are. Right. So we also mentioned this, of course, in the Hypergrid Happenings, didn't we? About Easter Hunt. But tell us all about it, if you will. Or...
Yes, this is on right now. This is Nick Spreen, who we know very well, great photographer. These his eggs, they look like Fabergé eggs, but in reality they are textures that he has made over the years as a photographer in real life, and he has imported them. He used to have a shop in Second Life years ago, and he used to sell this stuff. But now he just gives it away for free in OpenSim, and this is the sim he made for alternate metaverse grid. They have a bunch of Easter egg hunts going on, and this is his contribution, and you can click on an egg, and the prize that you win will be in fact the very textures that you're looking at, so you can use them in your own builds totally free of charge. So that's it's a fun build.
I like this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love the way your way with words sometimes. Show me the money.
So this is just divine.
Yeah, it is lovely. Yeah, let's get it
There's
going.
nobody like one. Nobody builds like him. There's a lot of Monet style builds, but there's nothing anywhere like as good as this build in OpenSim, or probably in Second Life. Literally, if you know Giverny at all, if you've ever been to Giverny in France, basically he has totally recreated it almost picture for picture. It's astonishingly good. But the beauty of it is there's no crowds, which if you've ever been to Giverny is the one thing you do remember, is the long line of horrible people.
The yellow room. I never get into the yellow room.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So here it is. He's just recreated it in just the most magnificent way possible. It was actually offline. I had to convince him to put it back online, so that was a privilege too.
I love the way you got I love the way you got the flowers moving in this picture.
I didn't do anything. I just took a GIF.
No,
This is all him.
I realised that, but I mean it's framed, and you see a lot of moving water and things, but the way the plants are moving around just really gives it something. Oh, that's beautiful anyway, isn't it? Oh, that is a good
And the house. And in the article, I tried to tell a little bit of the story, that it's some of its legend, some of its reality, and just how he had a very interesting life, indeed. So I tried to capture a bit of that in the article. So this is the house. This is the conservatory.
conservatory. That's what I was thinking of. Colourful flowers again. Oh yeah, that's definitely.
And just brilliant the way he's just really captured the actual intention of Monet, which was not to have your standard flower bed, like a municipal garden, but he
Yeah.
was looking to get those blocks of color, because that's he was trying to imagine. I think he would have loved virtual, because you can do
Yes.
all this so much easier with a computer than you can in real life. Waiting for flowers to bloom.
Well, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I think if he was,
I guess.
but part of it is that landscape artist. So you imagine sitting there with his paints and painting it as he sees it, and
Absolutely.
imbibing it with something that I don't really know.
If people have never been to Serenity Grid, this is
are.
just one of a whole load of really good builds on that grid. The Mont Saint
famous.
Michel. There's another one. There's one based on Sydney. There's one of the Titanic. And there's a zoo. There's a Serenity Zoo is absolutely gorgeous. So that's definitely a grid to visit if you've not seen it. It's very small, but absolutely worth visit. Well, it's not really that small. There you go, James. Your yellow room.
That's the yellow room.
There you go.
See it?
I know there is
Finally.
somewhere. I don't think it's here. It's but I have seen it. There is somewhere. There is actually a build of the painting of that. The room. In other words, it's not a build of the real place. It's a build that mimics the actual painting. If you see what I mean.
Yeah,
But,
kind of like the Van Gogh, the Starry Night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And the man himself.
Well, this is the lovely thing about it, because he's really done his homework. Erwan did his homework. This is not a build that is this kind of, Renaissance fair style, very approximative imagination of what the past is like. He really has gone into all the details, so it's fantastic. Did I say it was fantastic?
I really
10
love
times.
a lovely water bit to end on there. Right, and now the latest thing you popped up with, and I noticed in I guess Discord or somewhere that people giving you praise and thanking you for writing this article, Deadheads on Neverworld. Oh, where does she get that name, I ask? All right, let's have a go.
Well, because it's a Jerry Garcia
Yes, I know.
show. Yeah, fantastic experience. I was blown away by his art, which Govega has brought in Inworld to share, and you can still go and see it. It's still there. The concert was a live concert. It was streamed in World by a famous trip. There she is. There's Govega. She had some kind of contact. I forget who. Anyway, so she had this contact with somebody who's involved in this, and so she was able to organize this event, and she's going to do some more stuff soon. So there you go. You can see the concert playing on the screen, and there's all of us dancing around. It's the Florida Keys, which is, you would think, what's that got to do with the Grateful Dead? Because, there's San Francisco. This is Florida
Well,
Keys.
yeah, but they're big enough band. They're all over the place.
You can be a hippie anywhere, man.
They came to Britain at some point. I'll actually show when we finish these slides. I'll show you something I literally got this morning, and it might be of curiosity. Oh, God, the elephant. Yeah.
So it was a pretty psychedelic experience, I must say. And the neat thing was that Rafaelos Kisses, who I think we all know from he's all over the place, he actually live streamed it back into Facebook. So you had an absolute combination of it being streamed and then restreamed and then restreamed again. So that's recycling for you.
How meta, yeah.
Oh shit! Where did it go? Sorry, I just said
No.
something.
Again, we're gonna have to get a swear jar.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Let's move on here first. I'll find the other thing late in a second. Oh yeah, good old Volkswagen camper van there. That's like typical, isn't it? So
Classic.
set up a little stall at the side of the camper van and
Yes.
sending the whatever. I love this. I'm sure you should.
So as I say, you can still go and see this build anytime, and there's the free gifts of all the tie-dye clothing that's available anytime if you want to go over there. This is on Neverworld Grid, I should have said. This is part of their enormous continent, bountiful continent, which means that you can drive from here to a bunch of other places because all the sims are contiguous. So it just stretches on and on and on. There's like, I don't know, 60 bar reach. I don't know. It's huge. Beyond my comprehension. And that's Nexus, who was on the show the other week, a few weeks ago.
Right.
She dressed as a Jawa on the show, but in world dressed like that. We all know. We always spread out too much, don't we? We should all stand in front of the screen. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, because Joe Garcia did do a lot of painting. Well, where the heck has I can see that something I opened is open. I don't know where it's gone. I can't get it on screen. It's I think it's up here. Hang on. Right. Okay. So a bit crazy today. Let's see what happens if I drag this over there. Typical. Right, we'll have to do it another way, won't we? This basically, I literally saw this morning, and it's lovely. I've just got to find a way of, let's see, open. Right, so I've opened it somewhere. Here we go. Okay. Oh, look at this. I don't know how clear it's going to be. It's Jerry Garcia, and it's a sort of hand-sewn thing with his guitar on the chair. Yeah. This belongs to somebody called Patty Smith.
Oh.
And she sent this morning because she is staying in some house she's got on the coast and was going out, and she got out of the chair and photographed
it. That looks like something you could make in virtual worlds, doesn't it?
I'm sure, yeah, but that's actually, that's in, a lot of work. I mean, it's not the best of photos, but the work that's gone into it. I don't know whether she made it herself or whether it's just one of her lovely possessions that she likes, but
very cool.
She does send these things out now and again, which is rather nice. And it definitely, consider it's fabric. It's definitely cherry, isn't it? So I had to add that to our little thing. So Safari can't open what page? There we are. Oh no, we're back on that one. Right. Okay. So yeah, Deadhead's on Neverworld. So did we do all of this? Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that was the one there. Okay, so
like I say, we'll be back in in a few days' time on the 5th of April. Usual time, 12 noon SLT, which is 9 p.m. where I live, 8 p.m. where Mal lives, and probably 3 p.m. if you're on the East Coast. Join us if you can.
And noon in Pacifical time. Right, okay, very much so. And just a quick reminder that the website we were looking at is hgsafari.blogspot.com, so hgsafari.blogspot.com. And presumably the next post will be a roundup of the first of the new season. Although you might squeeze something in before then, if I know you. Right.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. In the next half hours, she said on Thunderbirds or something like that. Right, okay, I'm just having a quick look. We'll try and recover the links that we have in Open Sim Chat, actually, which lead to the books. from these two books, you can piece together the long history of MDM. Basically, it's a shame I can't click on them because it's a different machine, so it doesn't help at all. But yeah, I'll try and get those links and things posted into the channel chat when it goes up. I think we're done. Have I forgotten anything? It feels like I have, but
No, I think we're
I
there.
think we got it.
any other questions from you, James, or thoughts
No,
before we?
thank you. Yeah.
So I'll also ask our guests anything. Thank you, Sergej, for being the most well-spoken of it. Guiding us through everything there. Thanks also for Rosanna. I know you haven't heard her, but she's been lurking in the background in the Inworld chat and communicating in Italian, of course. And thanks to Licu, of course. Ajay, anything else news-wise from you, Licu, before we go in terms of Craft Grid as a whole? Any exciting stuff coming up that we should know about?
Okay. It was a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invitation, and I will be happy if you will invite us again for news.
Yes, I would. Yeah, I really would love it if Liku can come back, and maybe we can get some other people speaking on the subject that Liku mentioned at the top of the show, which is how to protect people from copybotting. I think that's something that's interesting to all grids.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah,
So,
we
Liku,
are going to do some tests about a little more protection, mainly modifying adding some module in the code and modifying something just to detect actions that are illegal actions by the
oh, we look forward to that. That'd be great.
I think it could encourage creators to make more content in OpenSea.
Yeah. I think there needs to be a lot more things done with sort of permissions and stuff. So, if you, for example, copy mod and all that stuff, but there's never been any kind of specific export function. And also there's no real embedding of copyright information and things in individual objects, things that will basically make it much harder work for people to copybot. Because if there's one rule of thumb about people who steal things, theft, right, is that it's usually because it's easy.
Yes,
if it's difficult and costs more if it costs more to rip something off than to either buy it or create it yourself, then you won the argument. It's because
they're lazy. It's laziness.
Yeah, laziness and also ease. I can copy this, that, and the other and make a buck, and say, well, it is laziness, but it's also theft too. Devious intent or some, whatever. Yeah. So we should definitely have a show talking about that too. So.
Mel, there's a link posted in Discord for the Metaverse archaeology, excuse me.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's just if you clear my screen in the middle for a second, then people won't see me moving to Discord. Right. Metaverse here we are, OPT. Right. So this is the right. Let's do it.
As the ebook you've spoken before about.
If you want to change back to my center screen again, here we are. Can't get rid of the ads, so yes I can. So let's just have a quick flip through it. This is Lorenzo Colli. I love Italian names, but better not pronounce them.
As a Collicino.
I'll get into trouble. Here we are. Whatever. Having a quick flick through it here. I recognise that. Oh, it's got a little. You can do it that way too. That's nice. Right, so we've got a British flag. Sorry. Right, archaeology. Oh, and this is all in English too,
Yes, it is.
which is I'll have to download. Oh, hang on, where is it? I'll download a copy we show later. Okay, yeah, this is wonderful.
Wow.
Metropolis. Is that from Metropolis Grid or is that
The
It's
movie.
in German, and I think Hungarian language too.
Right.
Fritz Lang.
I remember Fritz Lang's movie. Yeah, so there's sort of multiple versions with different people doing the soundtrack after all these years. So this is nice stuff. I realised that on TV screen you probably can't. Oh God, I remember Coinol. It's, this yeah. So this is multilingual, I guess. Don't know how many pages we're. Oh, 56. Yeah, we can do a quick flip through, just to get an idea. And a lot of people credited there as well. So all these people are very special. I know a lot of these people.
See, if there's one thing Mal likes more than landscapes, it's books.
Mm-hmm.
So you hit the right thing there.
Right. And flip
Oh,
books.
we somehow never got back. There'll be a new one soon. What's it called? Gabba Gabba Hey or something. The
Right.
magazine, an Open Sim magazine, but we yeah. Yeah, it's like so. Oh, and here we are. Yeah, that just intrigued me. It's so it's like a floating orgy of people. It's just far too many of them. There we go. All right, so that was that. I will. I'm going to leave that up for myself later. I'll see if I can download it as a PDF. Right. Okay. Well, I think it's time to thank everybody and sort of hit the road. So, still looking at somebody called Loading. Thanks to Thirza Ember James. Interesting, informative evening. And thanks to Licu. Oh, well, thank you, whoever loaded it.
Velasquez. That's
Velasquez.
Velasquez.
Okay.
Yes.
You are
there he is.
well loaded, Velasquez. That's all I can say. Right, so thank you, Velasquez. Thank you, Sergej. Thank you, Rosanna. And thank you, Licu, all of you for being here. It's been wonderful. Thank you also, of course, to Thirza Ember for being a pertinent co-host this week, because she can speak about it. Thanks to James on the tech, and that's about it, really. So I'm going to wish you anything else anybody's got? Silence rules. That's unusual.
right.
Right. Okay. So I wish you all a very good morning, very good afternoon, very good evening, and indeed a good tomorrow, depending on wherever and whenever you are. And we're out of here. Bye for now.